Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the Charter and Bylaws of ICNA. We are on Clause 6, which is the program. The program of ICNA is comprised of 7 points, and I would like you to inshallah deliberate on these in the next few minutes. The first one is inviting mankind to submit to the Creator by using all means of communication. And it's important in this day of information, this age of information, that we utilize all possible means: social media, the internet, television, billboards, books, publications. From our program perspective, we believe we must employ all possible means to get this message of Islam and this prophetic message of Prophet ﷺ to every human being on the face of this earth. I'm talking about the earth, and yes, these are big words, but really as a worker of Islamic movement, we feel it is our duty as Muslims to communicate this word, this word to every member of our societies. The second point here, motivating Muslims to perform their duty of being witnesses unto mankind by their words and deeds. The key word I want you to remember here, witnesses unto mankind. The Prophet ﷺ, during the time of Hajjat al-Wada, he saw the gathering of 100,000 plus people. This was one of the miracles of humanity. No one in the history of mankind had been able to achieve that level of success in a span of only 23 years. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the Prophet ﷺ this privilege to start a movement and start an ideology, an amazing way of living in a way that has changed everything. If you look at the people of Arabia and the Muslims at the time, Islam has changed everything for them, from how they sleep, how they eat, how they dress, how they govern, how they interact, how they socialize. Everything about them has changed within a span of 23 years. In Hajjat al-Wada, Prophet ﷺ has communicated this particular message to humanity, to the people who are following him. He has been able to successfully create this model society, which is going to be the example until the end of time for every Muslim in this world. But at that time, the Prophet ﷺ would turn to the masses and says something very profound, which has to be remembered. He said, فَلْيُبَلِّغْ الشَّاهِدْ الْغَائِبِ. Those of you who are present today must communicate this message to those who are not present. This is the meaning of the word being a witness unto mankind. That message, that communication of that message must be done by this ummah. This ummah has been chosen for that purpose. Once the character of this ummah reaches that high level and high ground, then that message can be transmitted, my brothers and sisters. So it is a duty of every ICNA worker and every ICNA member is to motivate Muslims to perform their duty of being witnesses to mankind. The third point on this clause 6 is organizing those who agree to work for this cause in the discipline of ICNA. So the discipline portion of Islamic Circle of North America is the set of bylaws that we have, and it defines exactly how and who becomes the office bearers and how things really operate on a day-to-day basis. But the structure and all that has to be accepted, because you have to organize any organization, and it has to abide by certain rules and principles and bylaws and rules. So the program of ICNA invites everyone to organize those who agree with this work in the discipline of ICNA. The fourth point is offering educational and training opportunities to increase Islamic knowledge, to enhance character, and to develop skills of all those who are associated with ICNA. This is exactly what we are doing today. The fact that we are creating these videos and we are creating these courses and we are disseminating this information to the masses is part of this program. This part about creating education opportunities and training opportunities, we want to, and ICNA does this on a regular basis. Tarbiyah programs, education programs for all its members are essential. because that keeps that motivation, that keeps that conviction, that keeps that desire to perform this duty in the best possible manner, because at the end of the day, this is going to allow them to reach that level of the Jannah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because that is the desire, that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with me, if I reach to the level of the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then everything and anything is possible. The fifth, continuing on the program, opposing immorality and oppression in all forms, supporting efforts for socio-economic justice and civil liberties in the society. My brothers and sisters, until and unless we are part of this society, understand the ills and the injustices, then we will never be part of any movement or any community. People will not see us as being relevant. The Prophet ﷺ, before he became a prophet, he became a signatory onto the treaty of Hilf al-Fudul. It's a very famous hilf, which essentially meant to ensure that anyone and everyone who came to Mecca was transacting with the people of Quraysh, that he will have his dues. People were not given their dues and they were rebuffed and essentially were told, get out of here. And that was not acceptable to the noble men in that society. And the Prophet ﷺ became a signatory to that treaty. And he said that if this treaty were to be given or were to be called again during after the time of Bi'tha, that he will still abide by it. So my brothers and sisters, we understand this whole concept that if there is injustice anywhere, if there is injustice anywhere in the world, it's a threat to justice everywhere in the world. So ensuring that programs such as ICNA Council for Social Justice, that brings awareness, organizes people to come together to fight the socio-economic ills in society, are very important. And we believe, as the workers of ICNA, that we subscribe to this model, and this is our part of our program. The sixth and the second last point is strengthening the bond of humanity by serving all those in need anywhere in the world, with special focus on our neighborhoods across North America. And we talked about that into the introduction section. ICNA's two social services programs, the domestic arm and the international arm of ICNA Relief and Helping Hand, are part of this particular program point, that we believe that we need to reach out to our neighbors and to our brothers across the world. And in conclusion, the final point of Clause 6 is point number 7, which says cooperating with other organizations for implementation of this program and the unity of the Ummah. And ICNA has partnered with many organizations and actually been spearheading the efforts of a united organizations front by the name of U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations, uscmo.org. And alhamdulillah, 8 founding members, that includes many major Muslim organizations, have come together to create a unified voice for Muslims in this country. And we believe, as the Muslims and as the leadership in North America, that we need to bring these platforms to enhance the voice of Islam and Muslims in this country, and to ensure that we are coming on a united platform, because that is what is the teaching of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when He says, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا, and be united and be connected to the rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to His guidance, and do not differ, do not be divided, not differ, do not be divided. So my brothers and sisters, the program of ICNA ensures that our projects and our entities that we have launched are really in line with the teachings of Quran and Sunnah. Jazakumullah khair for your attention, and we'll conclude this session. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.